Hi, my name is Jessica Gitsay. I was diagnosed with glioblastoma 3 years ago when I was 21 years old. In 2018, I was living in America working at Disney World, and I started to get really sick there. So when I came home in 2019, I went to the doctor and she sent me to hospital for an MRI, and it was then a few days later that I found out that I had stage 4 brain cancer. When I first started getting sick in America, it didn't even cross my mind that it could be cancer. I thought I was just a bit tired or a bit overworked, and I was excited to come home and settle back into being home in Perth. It wasn't until we went to the GP and she sent me for an MRI that I realised how serious it could be. I was in hospital for 10 days. I had surgery to insert a shunt and take a biopsy of the tumour, and then I was told later that it was stage 4 glioblastoma. My family, my parents and my partner were there, and we all just cried, really. There's nothing we could do except start treatment. And once all my scars had healed, I started 6 weeks of radiation and a low dose of chemo, and I've been on medication ever since then. Before my diagnosis, I didn't know much at all about brain cancer. I think typically cancer is portrayed in media as people being really skinny and thin and losing their hair, and I was the complete opposite. I haven't lost my hair through my treatment. In fact, I've gained weight as well through the steroids. So that was a bit of a shock and a bit of an adjustment, and I think it's a reality that not many people see. There are a lot of physical and mental changes, especially with brain cancer. My capacity to think isn't as great as it used to be. My body's not able to do as much, and I've got more limits on myself, and it's really hard trying to be your best self and push yourself, but also not too much, and make sure you're managing your symptoms as well. I typically take one day at a time and just see how I'm feeling and see what I can do and plan for the next week rather than the next month or 6 months. That's a bit far in advance with brain cancer, so I just take one day at a time and don't take it for granted. It does mess with your head a little bit. Some days you think you're fine, and then the next day you find out that it's come back more aggressive, and especially when you have scans and you go to appointments hoping for the best news, and unfortunately sometimes you get the worst news that it has spread even more. So on May the 20th last year, I was cooking in the kitchen and I started feeling really sick, and my head started feeling very foggy. So my husband came to check on me, and I went to tell him what was wrong, and I just physically couldn't speak. I was having trouble forming my words, and it was quite scary for both of us. I was trying to tell him like I'm okay, but I couldn't communicate that, so he was panicking quite a bit. We went to ED, and they did a CT scan that night, and they didn't find anything, so they thought it was just a severe migraine. And then I let my doctor know. He booked me in for an MRI, and they found a second tumour under the original one. From there, we had planned to do some more radiation on that, and when they were planning the radiation, they found another small blip, which caused them to check my spine, and that's when they found tumours all down my spine as well. So what had happened is there was a bit of cancer that had broken away from the original tumour, and that's gone down my spinal fluid, and they've just lodged all down my spine now. Well, I think for me, I'm very lucky to have a very good support system around me. I know a lot of people don't have that, and so I try not to take it for granted. And even on the days where I don't want to get out of bed for myself, I'm no, I need to get up and I need to give it my best shot. And I'm not like this 100% of the time, but I definitely have my moments. But I don't know, life's too good, and I don't want to take it for granted. If I only have a short time, then I want to make sure it's a good time. Good news about this was that when we found out the news, my partner and I decided to get married. So on August 14th, we got married after 6.5 years together. So that was very exciting. We put the wedding together super quick, and it was perfect. I wouldn't change a thing, so it's not all bad. So the statistics for brain cancer aren't great, so assuming I don't have long to live, I want it to mean something. I want to leave something behind that my family are proud of. I want it to be more, not that cancer killed her, it's more I had cancer, but look what I did with it. And it's more fuel for me. I don't want to just have cancer. I want it to mean something, and I want it to, even if we can't help myself, hopefully raise enough money to hopefully find a cure eventually and help other people. and that's the legacy I'll leave behind, and that's for my family as well. When the statistics are mostly 12-month survival rate, and I'm here 3 years later, it's a strange sort of privilege to still be here and represent those that aren't as fortunate as me, and I just want to bring as much awareness to it as possible and help as many people as I can. So I can't put into words how lucky I feel that people put effort and energy into raising money for Cure Brain Cancer. It's something that's literally life-changing potentially for me and for many others. So I feel very, very grateful and humble for that. I love the sense of community that the fundraising brings as well. It's like our own family, and we're all here to support each other, which is a really nice feeling. Last year was my 3rd year walking in the Walk for Brain Cancer, hoping to raise funds for research, advocacy and awareness. I'm very lucky to still be well enough to be able to walk in these and get many people around me rallying around and walking around Langley Park in Perth, 5 kilometres each year. So far we've raised over $30,000 as well, which I'm very proud of. For many years now, my family's participated in some aspect with the Rottnest Channel Swim here in Perth. And this year my family has entered a team as a charity team to raise money for Cure Brain Cancer Foundation. So we're hoping to raise $10,000 to go towards the Cure Brain Cancer Foundation to hopefully find a cure for myself and others.